Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Those of you on the recording and those of you here live, we've got 4 of us total here live today. This is our 4th Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle, and I am so excited to be here. If you don't know me, my name is Amelia Fortes, and I'm a self-love healer and teacher. And I just wanted to create this online space for anyone to jump on. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world, and I think it's important that we just create a space to kind of process what's going on and take things a little deeper. So thank you for being here, and congratulations on taking the time for yourself to do this. You could be anywhere in the world right now, and here you are in this crazy busy world, taking time and space for your healing. So the way that I've decided to start choosing the topic of the day is actually using the Self-Love Activation Oracle cards, which are the cards that I've developed. So this is a 44 card Oracle deck and guidebook. And this is what they look like. This is the back. And this is what they look like. It's basically, this deck is categorized into 7 different categories, all dealing with self-love. So money, body, image, spirituality, community, relationships, and career. And then there's also 2 wild cards in there. So let's see what the cards have for us today. Is anyone not familiar with Oracle cards or have any questions about that? Okay, everyone's familiar, so perfect. So let's see what the cards have for us today. I've been shuffling them like crazy, but we'll do a few more. Okay. All right, let's see what we've got for today. Whoa, okay. Money is energy. Avoid toxic money. And this is from the money category, kind of obviously, and you can tell because the background's green. So for the first step, I want you to take your journal and your notebook and just write down the phrase and take a minute or two to journal. Don't think about it too much. Let's just see what comes up for you. So money is energy. Avoid toxic money. So I'll leave it up here too. And then I'll time everyone. I'll give everyone 2 minutes. And I'm doing this too with you all, by the way.
What are we writing specifically?
Just journal about what comes up for you when you think about this phrase.
Okay.
Is another minute good for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Take another 30 seconds or so to wrap up your last couple sentences. All right, take a couple seconds to wrap up your sentences. And just look up when you're ready. I'd love to hear what came up, and I'll share too. But does anyone want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first.
Oh, and I just to like create some safety. I know we can see everyone's name of who's here except for that phone number. So just so everyone knows, that's Michelle, and she's listening because she's with family right now and she's in listening mode. So just so it doesn't seem like some random number. Sure, Justin, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, money is energy. Avoid toxic money. So a lot came up for me is that, money is your self-worth. Money is the relationship of flow in and out of your life because money flows in and out of our account all the time. Money comes and goes, but who we are, what we believe doesn't change. But it's crazy how money is just a piece of paper, but it controls so many different things of how we feel about ourselves, the decisions we make. And then I thought about like, all right, well, if money is energy, what could be toxic money? And toxic money could be a bad job that you're at. It could be the toxic environment that's being that you're stuck in that you don't want to let go of. Toxic money could be you're getting it out of desperation. Like you're afraid to give money to other things because you're afraid that you're not going to get more of it in your life. So money really is the relationship of giving and receiving. If you're afraid to give money away, you're probably afraid to receive it too, because you're desperate in the fact that you feel like I need this money to eat, sleep, and live, right? I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, not going to be able to do whatever it is that I need to do. So it really is, money's just a tool or the vehicle to get whatever thing or whatever position or whatever it is that we want in life. And the biggest thing that, I've learned with, developing this relationship and cultivating it is that, all right, money is a piece of paper. It doesn't change who we are. It doesn't change our inside, what we believe. It doesn't change what we stand for. Money is just the thing that, it's the trading system. It's the barter system that we use to get things in life. So I just thought that was really interesting to observe. And I was really like interested in like how fast and how quick all that came up. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's there was a lot there. There's a lot of different pieces that I think we can play with. But I was curious, like related specifically to you and like what's going on in your life right now. Is there one piece from all of that that really stands out?
Yeah, I think it's the relationship of flow in and out and the relationship of giving and receiving.
Okay, tell me more about, or tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of times, I go through this cycle where, I'm living right for the next paycheck, right? And I'm afraid to give anything to anybody because I'm afraid that more isn't going to come in, even though I know in the back of my mind it will. I'm doing well at my job. There's no sign of anybody getting rid of me or anything. It's always going to be there. So I realized that once I start having more faith and I started giving more money away, I started not holding on to, oh, well, we can't go out to eat tonight because, I only have this amount of money until I get paid again. Once I started kind of letting go of that, and once I started, you know, putting my money in investments that I felt were right, more money started to come in. Bonus checks started to come out of nowhere. Um, Tax returns came up. Just weird stuff, like stuff I would have never thought of. Somehow the money just showed up. So I thought that was really cool that, I get more money by giving it away. It's kind of a weird concept, but it's been really cool. And honestly, I don't know, it gives me some kind of sense of confidence, or like just knowing. And the thing is like when the money comes in and out, like I always feel a certain way about it, like it evokes an emotion. But the thing that I've been practicing is, no matter if it's leaving or if it's coming into my account or into my life, period, I try to just stay consistent and feel the same way, because I try to focus on not how much I have or I don't have, but focus on the thing or the gift or whatever it is that I'm creating. Focus on my podcast, focus on these comic books that I'm trying to write, focus on whatever the content is, and not so much, the struggle or the survival. So it's kind of just getting out of survival mode, more or less.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely want to dive deeper, but I also want to hear from other people. But what I'm hearing is like, tell me if I'm getting this right. It's the biggest thing was like money is energy. So it's this flow.
Yeah.
And it's not like when we like hold on too tight. And actually, if we were in person, I would kind of do this exercise, because I do this sometimes, where it's like, okay, make your fist and like hold it really tight. And then I take out like a $20 bill and I'm like, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, can you receive it? No, you have to actually open to receive, and
Right.
you have to have that flow. And it's like, I love that you're speaking to like money hoarding. So I don't know if I can definitely relate to that, like especially when I'm in a scarcity mode. I don't know if any of the rest of you can, but it's like I can feel it holding on so tightly. So that's a really great concept there. Thank you for bringing that into the space. So I want to hear from you too, Tani, and then I'll share too, and then we'll see what the theme is, and we'll take it even deeper.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So money is energy, avoid toxic money. If you think of money as a necessary evil, then it can become toxic. So I think of money as a gift, and that I am fortunate. Money comes and goes, and I always have all that I need. Money is abundant for me. So I've always I've lived both in scarcity, and I have changed, and I live now in abundance, and that's with everything. So I apply the law of attraction and gratitude to pretty much everything. And so I can associate, like with you, Justin, like back when I was always living in scarcity, like I'm not going to have enough, and I'm not going to donate here, or I'm not going to lend money here because I don't even have enough of my own money, and what happens then, and living in sort of scarcity and what if moments. When I transformed my thinking into law of attraction and saying that I always have enough and I'm always grateful every day for something, whether it be the roof over my head, or, that I ate that day, or what, whatever point of view you're coming from, to be grateful every day for everything that you have, the more gratitude that you show, the more comes in. And that law really applies, with everything, but in money specifically. Anytime I have a moment where I start to be concerned about money, like right now, my son's in college, so I'm paying for college every semester. I'm dishing out a big, huge chunk of money. And in that moment, I'm like, what about next semester? But then I stop myself and I say, I always have everything I need. And I just put it out there that I always have everything that I need. I don't say I'm wealthy. I don't say I'm, I could, I suppose, but I always have everything that I need. And for 3 semesters now, freshman year, and now I should say 4 semesters now, because I just paid for the last semester. Money has always been there. The money I need has always been there. And it hasn't been money that I've had to like scrap and save for. It hasn't been money that I've had to cash out a 401k, or it's been abundance of money that, I'm in sales. So I make, commissions, and I make bonuses and outside of my salary. And so just everything has, just holding that belief, everything has come in when I needed it. So I guess I think of, I know a lot of people who suffer through not having, the ability to have commissions and bonuses, and they have just a straight salary, and sometimes it is a struggle if the car breaks down or whatever happens. But just seeing that, if you look at it from that scarcity standpoint, it only just makes it worse, right? And if you just think, I always have what I need, I always have what I need, I always have what I need, somehow it always comes through. Like Justin, you said, bonus checks came out of nowhere. Like that's what happens. Money from places you wouldn't even imagine come through. Like I got a $400 refund from my car insurance when I changed over, just things like that. That
Yeah.
you just,
Surprise
it's all
money.
about the perspective and what you're what you have thankful for every day.
Wonderful. I love that. Thank you so much. I just also wanted to, someone else just joined, Stephen. Hi, Stephen. Are you there? Can you say hello? And if you're able to, we'd love to see if you could turn your video on, but it doesn't look like you're joining with video. Can you say hello or chat to us in the chat room? Okay, I'll give you a chance to warm up to us. We're in about 20 minutes in, and we're talking about money. And I pulled a card from the Self-Love Activation Oracle deck, which said this: money is energy, avoid toxic money. So we all just kind of shared, well, not we all, Justin and Tani just shared. So I will share next. And I do already see a theme and how we can even take this deeper. So for me, what came up was I actually was having a conversation with a friend who owns her own business, and we were talking about potentially her raising her prices like across the board, and she's terrified to do that, which I get. And I think that speaks to, I definitely agree with the money is energy, what both of you said. So adding on to that, speaking specifically to avoid toxic money, we talk specifically about how some clients, it's like, even the money that she's receiving from them, like in a lot of ways, it doesn't feel like enough, like they're not paying her what she's worth. And the clients, like the emotional labor needed to deal with certain people just isn't even worth the money, so to speak. And so when I think about avoid toxic money, it kind of tags in. And Justin, you even mentioned this a couple of times around, maybe it's the job, maybe the money that you're receiving from that job is really toxic for you. That money can be considered toxic because it's like you like hate the job you're going to, but the money coming in. So it's like this energetical, like they're combative energetically. So that kind of came up for me. And I've thought about, I've been in bad jobs and toxic environments. And even though it was paying the bills, like I had to like take that risk and leave before even really knowing where the next was going to come in. And that speaks to like Justin and Tani, what you were sharing about money flows. If I have this belief, this trust that I'm going to have everything I need, I had to trust. I was like, I need to leave this situation because even the money I'm receiving from it, the work that I'm doing there every day, the environment that I'm going to, it's like not worth it. So I thought about that. And then I also thought about, being in a situation. I don't know if anyone here has been through this, and I haven't been through this specifically, but I know a lot of people are sometimes find themselves stuck in a relationship, a bad relationship, because they depend on that relationship for money. And I'm in no way saying like, oh my gosh, just leave, like situations are like everyone's situation is different, but it's like, I think one of the points of this card is to be aware of like, what is the source of money coming in? And is that really like a healthy source? Or is it toxic? So thank you for creating the space for that to come up as well. So taking a little bit deeper, this theme of money is energy, the flow, the giving, the receiving, having an abundance mindset. I'd love for everyone to journal on, so what's next? Like, what's the next room for growth or room for transformation there? And everyone's in different places with their money, but knowing that when money is in flow, when you're in giving and receiving, when you're having faith, I'm just like looking at the notes that I took down from both of your shares. Abundance, mindset, law of attraction. I always have everything I need. So this is like a really good place to be, right? So now what's that next level growth is kind of where I want to go. But I do want to pause. Stephen, did you want to share something about this concept? Or is it Stefan? Let me know if I'm saying your name correctly. You're not muted, so. Okay, why don't we just take it deeper now? And does everyone know what to journal on, or do you want me to come up with like a specific question?
Just something specific.
Okay, so with everything, with this great abundance mindset that you're all at right now, and this understanding that money is flow and giving and receiving, and don't hold on to it too tight, what is the next level up for you as it relates to money? Like, where is there room for even more growth and healing as it relates to money? So that could just be the question in short. Where is there more room for growth and healing as it relates to money? Take about another minute. And finish up your last thoughts. Okay. Who would like to share?
I will.
Okay.
I think as far as for me, I'd really like to utilize money to a greater benefit for others. I've donated for things and, contributed to charities and things like that, but I mean to a much greater level. Like, I've always wanted to own my own business. I just haven't known exactly what I want that to be, but I want it to be something that's, truly of a benefit to other people, not like, clothes or, whatever stuff. I want it to be something that actually helps and benefits other people. Or to invest in a company that's creating some form of life-changing technology, or to be able to have enough money that I could just take a year or two off to write a book or memoir on my own life experiences that could be, beneficial for other people who are going through things that I've been through. And then I've always been about experience over material things. So, I think in our first part of life, it's always about the car and buying a house and, the things you're supposed to obtain, as you age and have family, have a family and things like that. And I think I just, I've moved past that part in my life, and I'm at a part where I could care less about material things. It's all really about, the experiences. I've, traveled to 19 countries. I want to see how other people live and experience things, as opposed to just having stuff. So, I'd like to do something that can help other people, go through those type of experiences too. Maybe like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and make something happen for a child, or something that just has more benefit, that's, worth something more within your mind and your heart than a material thing.
Yeah, I love that. There's a lot of different options here. I was curious, did any one of those like really, really speak to you? Like you mentioned either having your own business or investing or taking a year off or.
Yeah, I think, the having my own business has definitely been in my mindset for the last couple of years. I just haven't been able to pin down exactly what I would want to do and how. And then the other one is definitely the writing a book. I've had a very challenging upbringing, and there's a lot of things in there that I know other people have been through that they could, I could speak to my experience of it that could help them. So those two have probably been the most weighing on my mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it would feel for you, like, to either one of those to like accomplish that?
Well, that's funny because that's how the law of attraction works, right? Is by feeling how that would feel as you claim it, so to say. And so obviously, it would feel great. The end result would feel fantastic. It's the process in the middle, like if it's a business, figuring out what to do and how to do it and secure the funding for it and, bringing it to life. And then the same with, writing. I think the end result would be fantastic. And I think that it would also allow for, speaking engagements and other type of a different level that I could, go to within my career or life, and leave sales behind. So that would be, amazing as well.
Or it would be sales, but at least for something that's like,
yeah, exactly. Right.
Means a lot to you.
Mm-hmm, right. And, and being able to help other people in whatever fashion that is. So,
yeah.
I know it sounds generic, like help others, but it really is about, I think everyone can think about something that they've gone through and point to something that helped them through it, whether it was a book or a person or whatever it is that helped them through that situation. But it really is about, sharing experiences. So
I love that you brought up the law of attraction. I mean, well, like the feeling, because that's absolutely like part of it. And then I know like the next step is like just to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as a human being in a 3-dimensional reality, like there are steps that like we have to take. And a lot of times that's the part that has us.
Right. That's the part that gets kind of not as clear, right? You're like, well, where's this piece and what's that piece and how do I,
Yeah. What do you think is one of the things that is in the way of like just taking that step to like either do the business or write the book? Because you also don't need to take a year off to write a book. I mean,
no, you don't.
What do you think is in the way?
I think there's a certain degree of fear that gets in the way, and you have to let go of that fear. Which the fear can change from time to time, right? It's like one day it's kind of this and another day it's sort of something different that you're fearful of. When it comes to writing a book, it's like I know that the things that I could write about would be, like I said, beneficial for other people and help. But at the same time, it's still putting my own personal self out there. And there's fear in that, right? There's telling on yourself or telling on other people if you're writing like a memoir of an experience or something, and then, well, what if those people didn't want you to talk about them or, there's fear involved in that too.
Yeah.
The business part, if you know, to do that would be, you know, is it solid? Is the idea that you have for business solid? Is it going to be successful? If it's not, and I think all of that is really, again, fear-based and just letting go of fear and being like, you know what, leap and the net will appear.
Yeah.
But that takes a lot of trust. So.
Yeah, it could also definitely, yes. And I think we can also like just practice like little by little, like letting go of little bits of fear.
Sure.
What do you think would support you in letting go of fear enough to even just start or like move closer to the goal?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe that's the growth part.
Yeah,
Just figuring that out.
yeah, that's good. I think that can be like a next journaling question. I'm interested to hear what Justin has to say. And then also, Stephen, if you're there, I would like for you to say something. No one's
Yeah,
obligated. Oh, you are there. Okay, yay.
yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. No one's obligated to share, but like since people are kind of like, sharing stuff, I just like to know that people are there. Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to share anything about what we're talking about?
Well, okay. Well, I'm an electrical contractor, and wearing all the hats as to doing the work, and which is the easy part because I've got years of training and experience in that. But when it comes to the bookkeeping part of it and billing and keeping on top of banking, and that's the hard part. And I've been sort of struggling with that part for a long time. But in order to supplement my retirement, which I don't know when that's going to happen yet, I'm 69. I've written a book of limericks, and I've had it illustrated, and I'm ready to put it on the market. But how to put it on the market? And so I went to a meetup in Los Angeles, and it was on marketing. And now I see that my biggest fear now is I have to get an Instagram account. And I went on Instagram last night, and you look at the terms, and the terms are frightening. I mean, I've stayed away from Facebook because I don't want to tell everybody what I did yesterday or whatever, and read everybody else's stories on their life all the time. I haven't got time for that. So,
Yeah. So
I've
Stephen,
always been.
is there anything that you can think that you really need support with as it relates to, because there was a few pieces there, so I didn't want to there was the piece about bookkeeping for your current business, your current electrical contracting business.
Right. I do have somebody to help me.
Right. And then, but then there was also
right
this,
now.
and that's like your day job, right? But then there's also this piece about your creative artwork, your book of limericks. So, so tell me which one is most relevant for you right now, and what specifically.
Well, relevant right now is the bringing my book to the marketplace.
Okay.
And I want to self-publish, and it seems like in order to self-publish my book, I have to expose myself and have Instagram examine everything I do, everything I write. They just examine your whole life, and that's scary. I've never had to sort of do that before.
I think what would be appropriate in this moment is, and was that advice that was given to you by someone that like you have to have an Instagram?
Yeah, she has self-published 4 books,
Yeah.
and she's done it that way, and she has been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing, and like you can, and this is for anyone. Anyone can agree with me or not, but what I've found is everyone's path to success is different, and it's okay to get advice from other people who have been there. But if there's so much of a resistance to something, then maybe that's just not your path. And I'm not saying that it's not, but what I'm saying is be gentle with yourself in this moment of the figuring it outness. Because here's the thing, and back to like what Tawny was sharing about like starting a business, taking a year off to write a book, even writing the book, even sitting down to write it. Here's the thing, we have these big dreams, and like, you know, we use law of attraction to feel it, but the actual like doing of it and like bringing it into creation, that's going to be lots of like little like hurdles, or not so little, but hurdles along the way. So Stephen, you weren't here in the beginning, but this card was pulled from an oracle deck that I created, and I don't even have an Instagram for it, and it's already to market. I've already sold some copies, and I don't even have an Instagram. And I'm not saying that to say anyone else is wrong. I'm just saying, you know, you've just created something that means a lot to you, and the next step might not look like someone else's next step. So I'm going to pause there, though, because I also want to hear from Justin, and there is one more like journaling that I want to do to even like take it even a little bit deeper for everyone. Is that okay with you? Because I think, you know, I want to hear from Justin, and then I think we'll have a really cool next step for us all. But thank you for popping on and sharing. I'm happy that it wasn't like a robot or something.
I'm sorry, I was trying to stumble the
that's
phone.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, Justin, so did you have something you wanted to share from our last?
Yeah. So the question was, what is the next level, and how do you grow and heal from where you're currently at? Or how do you have more growth and healing? And the thing that I was immediately met with is just a bunch of more questions. So I thought that was pretty cool. And going back to what Tani said, one of the first ones is, how can I share this with others? You know, how can I share the mindset? How can I share the habits that I've been getting into? How can I share my abundance with other people? What does that look like? That's why I do my podcast. That's why, you know, I want to continue to get on stages and speak to people. That's why I want to continue to get out here and do creative things like go to conventions and, you know, write these comic books to get over to the audience that I'm trying to reach. What investments are good right now? With the money that I currently have, what can I dive into that makes sense, that can produce more money, can grow the money? How do I grow it? How can I double it so that we can build a moat, build a protection around what I currently have? How much should I save right now? Does it make sense to take some of that and put it away? Should I open up a credit union account? Should I open up a savings account? And the biggest thing,
for a sec?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
How is all of this feeling with all these questions coming up?
It was great because it kind of sparked an idea and it sparked interest. Like, that's a good question. What else can we do with it?
I'm so happy to hear that. No answer would have been wrong, but you know, the answer could have been, oh my God, I'm anxious. Like, there's so much, like, where do I start? Which I think comes up, you know, thinking of starting a business or all kinds of stuff. So I just wanted to pause on that and like the feeling that you're having around that right now. And this is not just for you, this is for me, and this is for everyone. Having that attitude, I think, is one of the ways that we can start to let go of that fear. Like back to what Tawny was saying, like what can help us start to let go of that fear? And I think it's the energy that we bring to the questions, right? Because it can either be like, oh my God, I don't know what business to do, or oh my gosh, I don't know if it's a good idea, or I don't know, I want to help people, but I don't really know who yet. or it can, or to like the way that you're asking it. And Tanya, I'm not saying you asked it any sort of certain way. I'm just illustrating the different ways. It can either be like, oh my gosh, or that's a good question. And actually, I'm looking right now, there's this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, so you've heard of it too. So
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard of it. I know, Justin, you've heard of it. But he says in the book, like, start with a question, because the question is what opens up the door. Instead of saying I can't afford it, or, I don't have time to start my own business, or I don't know what idea could be solid for my own business, or, I don't know what I would write a book about, or I don't know how I'm going to take this year off to write this book, or, like Stephen, I don't know how I'm going to bring this book of limericks to public, how I'm going to do this. But instead of asking a question, like, how can I? And that's also back to kind of, Stephen, what I was sharing with you. It's like, maybe Instagram is one way, but if in this moment you're feeling very like it's not aligned, then that's okay. It could be the answer, but like, we want to baby step it to get you to the point where you can actually, I guess the point I'm making is, we want to make empowered steps towards things. We don't want to make fearful steps towards things. And I'm saying this like from experience, because it's like, I've done things that coaches and other people have recommended to me, and it just wasn't aligned for me. A lot of people will say, well, if you really want to market, you got to have a Facebook group, or you got to do Facebook ads, or you got to do Instagram. But there's all these different answers, and like, any one of them could be right. But if it's aligned with you, then then the step will work because it's aligned with you. So thank you for letting me play with that, Justin. Did anything specific from those questions come up that really, really piqued your interest?
Yeah. The final question that came up was, how do I stay in this positive energy? How do I stay in this mindset of abundance? And the answer that I got was, I have to stay in gratitude, I have to stay in reflection, and I have to stay in observation. Like, if I go back 3 months ago, all right, what didn't work? Obviously, like, there was 3 months ago, I had $80 in my account for 2 weeks. I'm like struggling, like feeling desperate, feeling scared, and that didn't work. This month, I remember I gave a little bit more to my church because we're a brand new church, and next thing I know, a bonus check came in. Well, all right, that worked. That felt good. So let's go with that. Let's do that more. I went to the gym 5 times last week. That's why I feel in such amazing energy and shape. Let's repeat that this week. So like, what worked, what didn't, and how do I stay here, developing those habits?
Yeah.
So I have a suggestion, something that helps, and maybe you've already done this, Justin, but I have a poster board that I've made a vision board for a few different facets of life. But I also have another one that's just completely like law of attraction based for what I want. And so they're just statements like, I am abundant, or I have, like I was saying, I have all the money I need. I always have everything I need, something like that. Anyway, it's just, you can make a small board of it with sticky notes or write it on there or whatever, but put it in a place where you see it every day. So like in the morning when I brush my teeth and do my hair or whatever, I have my board in my bathroom, and I just read them to myself while I'm getting ready, brushing my teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
It seems to help.
Is your book on there? Is your memoir or your business?
Yeah, I have one. I have a board for that as well. Yeah. But it's just, any type of I am statements that are addressing particular things that you really want to have on a daily basis, and flowing to you. It's always worked for me. I just, it's definitely reinforced some of the things that I really want out of my life.
Yeah. So
it's just a visual reminder to, on a daily basis.
And it's good for your subconscious mind, right? To like,
yeah.
And then keep the feeling up of it of like, ooh.
Right.
One thing I want to say about that too is I love vision boards and I love these vision things, but I think, and tell me how you feel about this, Tani, but I think I learned I need to be more, like I need to refresh it more, because sometimes there comes a point where something on there is like no longer empowering or uplifting for whatever reason, or it doesn't have the charge anymore. And I've had to learn to kind of like refresh the photos. Like even I have like photos in my, as my phone background to kind of like spark law of attraction stuff. So I don't like, I've learned that like where it's like, oh, it's not even empowering anymore, or sometimes it becomes disempowering for whatever reason.
Well,
Did
I think
you find that you have to like refresh.
I think with vision boards specifically, where you're putting pictures of things like, you know, the material things or words that represent what you want in a vision board. Everything that I've seen so far that have worked for other people or have worked for myself is leaving it how it is and looking at it, but you don't have to look at like the vision board, you don't have to look at every day. Those are images of things you want and desire, right, in a certain way. But they're really more of a, like I've had a vision board where 2 years down the road, like 3 of the things on the board came to be.
And you were like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, so it wasn't something that I looked at every day and I was working with every day, but it was there and it was in my mindset. And then, you know, it could have gotten in the closet at some point in time, you know, for the next 6 months. But then all of a sudden I found it and I pulled it out and I was like, holy cow, like 3 of the things that are on there totally came. And I, you know, there wasn't like a syncoptic event where I was like, oh my gosh, the thing on the board happened. You know, it was later that I realized that the things happened. Whereas the I am statement, I feel like if you filter them down to like the biggest, truest things that you want consistently for your life, then every day I say them. Every day I, you know, because I'm closer to living them that way. So I think it's kind of split and a little bit different vision board versus
different energy, different frequencies. No, that's good. I'm so glad I asked, because I just was like curious about that.
Because your desires change, right? Like, so like before I was saying, you know, as you settle down, you have a family and you're like, I want this for my kids and I want this house and we need this car because, you know, or whatever. Well, then later in life, those things change, right? So it does help to update and refresh and create new ones, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So, we have about 9 minutes left until the end of the hour. But sometimes, actually every time, we've gone a little over. So I just wanted to check with everyone. Do they need to end right at the end of the hour, or can we go over a few minutes?
I need to end at the hour, but if you guys want to go, that's fine.
Okay. How about you, Justin?
If we could end at the hour, do one more journaling episode.
Yeah, let's do one more to kind of tie it all.
Yeah.
And Stephen, how about you? You good to end at the hour? And you can also watch the recording of this, because I know you came in a little bit later, but I'll be posting the recording. And then you can catch the first 20 minutes of the journaling exercises we've done.
Okay,
so,
I could go over.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of to wrap things up, one more journaling exercise just to tie it all together is, because here's the thing. My goal in these circles is to just start the process, like spark something, open something up. And we only have like an hour or so together. And so it's like, what's next? You know, based on everything that started to come up, you know, what's the right next step for you? So let's journal on looking at everything that we talked about today and everything that came up for you. What's the next right step for you in terms of like a tangible action? And if any fears or doubts come up with that, include that in the journaling. Okay, so I'll give everyone 2 minutes again to do that. Does anyone have any questions about that question?
No.
Okay, great. Take another minute. Okay, just wrap up your last sentence or so. And with the interest of time, if we can just share, some like one tangible step, and then maybe like one of the biggest or most worrisome fears that comes up, let's do that. And then also, if there's any support that you think you need, maybe it's a question, or maybe it's that maybe someone here in this circle can provide. So who would like to go first?
Your turn, Justin.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, there's an investment that I'm currently looking at with gold that I want to make and I want to get into. And the biggest thing that comes up, like a doubt, like, is it the correct investment? Am I doing the right thing? Then it's a fear of lack. Like, all right, if I do this investment, will all that money just go away and not come back? So that was the biggest one for me.
Is there any support you would like around that in this moment?
I don't know what the answer is, but maybe just so I don't have to do it alone. I don't know what that looks like.
You said you don't want to do it alone, is the support?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, well, I mean, if you're investing in gold, aren't you investing in it alone?
Yeah, I guess just, I don't know, some sort of reassurance.
You want some reassurance, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would suggest.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
I would just suggest maybe starting with a dollar amount that you're comfortable letting go of.
Okay.
Instead of looking at a large amount or whatever, just choose an amount that you think you'd be comfortable letting go of and try it, and then see what the returns are. And then you could feel more comfortable about going with a larger option.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I was going to say too, Tony. So yeah, but yeah, exactly. And it's just a matter of like playing with it. It's something new that you've never done. So
yeah, and it's also not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Justin. Tawny or Stephen, do you want to go? Like, what's one next step, tangible step, and if any fears come up with that?
I'll go. The first thing that came to mind was to just create an outline for the book I want to write, and committing to like a given amount of writing every day, even if it's just like a few sentences. And I guess the fear around it would be, what if it's not any good? What if it sucks really bad? That's kind of the fear, but you don't know until you do it, right? So
yeah. I love that. And I got so lit up when you said that, because like hearing that alone was like what I wanted with these healing circles, where it's like, let's like touch something, let's open something up and like create something awesome from that. And it was interesting, and I could be wrong, but my sense from when I first heard about the book was like, it's something that I want to do like eventually. But now you're like, oh, I'm gonna just start. So like that has me like,
yeah.
So I hope you come back to a circle and keep us posted with how that's going. And I think the thing that helps me with the what if it sucks is like when I just kind of say, well, it will, because I've never done this before. But it might not. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
Here, anyone who writes, I'm a writer, so anyone who writes, you're going to write sucky stuff. Like I love the story of Prince, may he rest in peace, but he had so many hits, right?
Yeah.
And I think I read, like, he also had a lot of, like, really shitty songs, that we just never heard, but it was because he was always writing, So the what if it's, hopefully that helps a little bit. Like, what if it sucks? It will. There'll be some parts that do suck, but.
Well, and maybe looking at, okay, so if it does suck, so what? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Can I offer something too, real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So something that helps me, Tani, like, it's really funny. Do you notice, like, as soon as you said that, like, how your brain automatically jumped to the worst possible thing that could happen? Like, what if it sucks really bad, horribly?
What if it sucks and everyone laughs at me?
So the thing that helps me with that is, like, all right, so play that scenario out first. Your brain's going to automatically go there. Then play out the complete opposite polar end. What if it's amazing? What if I go on tour? What if I'm on stage? And then that kind of balances you out. That always like helps me with everything. And then another thing that I'm doing too, like right now I'm writing my own comic book, and like just start out slow. Like it started with me literally writing it down in a journal. I hate typing. I don't like typing. I like to actually write. But I was like, that's going to take for freaking ever, and I don't want to do that. So like that transferred to notes in my phone, and then that transferred to actually typing. So like you said, just pick like 5 minutes a day and just do whatever works best for you. And the next thing you know, I already got like, I'm going to Comic-Con this weekend, and I got like a whole networking thing I'm going to, and I printed out a first like full sheet sampler. And I'm not writing about my life. I'm writing about fiction stuff. So like, you can only imagine like, oh my God, of course, what if it sucks? So I hope that helps.
Yeah. It is 5 right now, or Pacific. I don't know. I know people are everywhere. Can we just a couple minutes so that we can support Stephen?
Sorry, it kicked me off and brought me back on.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Can we be on just for a couple minutes so we can support Stephen and just wrap it all up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for that, Justin.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
I love the opposite thing. And then actually there was a third question that I heard, because I've heard that before, but then it's like, then the third question is, okay, and then what's most likely to happen?
Right,
like what's most likely to happen is I'm going to write a book. Like, it's going to be, so very cool. Thank you so much, Tani, and everyone for the support around that. And Stephen, what's your next step? And are there any fears that come up? Or what's the one fear that kind of comes up that maybe we can support you with before we wrap?
Well, there on Wednesdays in Long Beach, there's a meetup for authors, and you take your work and you hand it out to other authors that are there, and everyone, they read it, they critique it for you, give you their opinion of what they think. And I went to one. I'm going to one tomorrow night. I'm going to take my limericks. These are limericks for children, but I guess I have to explore other ways to reach my goals, maybe to expose it to publishers, and also I suppose I've been paranoid about the social media thing because I just haven't done it or got into it yet. But I suppose they all have you sign a contract where you sign your life away to them, and your life's a looking glass for the world.
I mean, I think what Justin just offered to Tani would be great for you. Like, start small and like maybe post, like maybe have your Instagram account and then post things that don't make you feel like, oh my gosh, And, but like I said, Instagram may be the answer. It may not be. I would offer that you like slowly feel into what's the right method for you, especially if it's creating so much resistance, but it could be the right method.
Well, it's not so much the Instagram itself. It's the terms of the agreement to use it.
Yeah.
Where you have to agree that they have access to your computer and everything you look at and do virtually.
On Instagram, not everything ever, but
what you could also do to help alleviate some of that is most lawyers will offer a half-hour consultation. You could actually just have them explain to you what it is that they're asking you to commit to. Take it to a lawyer and just say, what is it that they're actually asking me to commit to? Because legalese can be very confusing. I've worked in a law office, and but that way they could explain to you so you have a better understanding of what it is that you're actually agreeing to, and then decide whether you're comfortable with that or not.
Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Real quick too, Stephen, I had an idea before we let you go here is my thing is like figure out what you like to do. Because I mean, if you don't like to do social media, don't get on social media. What you could do is like find out the audience that you're trying to get to. Like maybe you could go to, it sounds like you like to go to live events. Maybe you could go to like a spoken word meetup and then meet and connect with people there and say, hey, can you check out my book? Or maybe you could go to like, local libraries or something and just start putting your flyer out. Like Amelia said, like there's a million different things you could do. I would just suggest like find out what it is that you like to do and how you like to connect with people and then go down that route.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to feel like you have to do one thing.
Because aligned
That's
and empowered action is better than disempowered action. Even if you're doing all, like you could follow a whole Instagram, whatever, and you can hate every moment of it. But yeah, so keep us posted though. Before we wrap, I don't know if I always do this, but I'm deciding to do this now. Let's just go around and share one favorite moment from this circle tonight.
I'll go first. Amelia, I love how you always ask, what is the next step? Like you're always making it active. Like we're not just here talking and being like, yay, whatever. You're actually like, no, what are you going to do when you get off this call? What can you do right now on this call? So you're always pushing us to get to the next level. So I just love that you do that. Oh,
thank you. That's good. I'm glad that it's helpful for you. I'm an activator, so that's my job. So thank you. Stephen or Tani, favorite moment?
Yeah, I agree with Justin. That was well said.
Oh, beautiful. I hope you come back so we can keep posted on your progress.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tani, how about you?
For me, just hearing other people's perspective, on the same topic. I mean, we all have our own experiences and we all have whatever we're going through, but just hearing different perspectives on it. And for me, really like the flow of thought for different people, right? Because it might be something I'd be like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, or oh, I didn't think that, or that's not where I went, but they did, and that's cool,
Yeah, I love that. That's what's so beautiful about bringing people together, and that. Thank you for saying that too, because that was another reason why I wanted to do this. So this is good. We're doing the right thing. My favorite moment, I'll share one from each of you. Tani, oh my gosh, the moment when you, when I asked, okay, I don't remember what I asked or but when you had this whole list of things that you would just love to do as your next healing step and growth. And then also when you were like, you know what, I'm going to start now. I'm not going to wait till I, get time to take a year off, which I still want that to happen for you. And we all do. But I let the getting into action. That was a really great moment. And I guess this is tied to Justin, your favorite moment, because I think it's everyone's next steps, just hearing the clarity and the empowerment and the activation. Justin, when you were like, I'm looking at this investment opportunity. It was so clear, such a clear next step. And that was really cool. And Stephen, you're like, I'm going to go back to this meetup. And I also liked the moment, Justin, when you pointed out that it seems like Stephen really likes in-person things and stick with what you like. I love that thing too. So lots of really favorite moments. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing. I hope you come back. There's the same link to register for next time. And if you like this and you want to see more, you can always go to my website, ameliafortes.com. I have lots of blogs and podcast episodes and all kinds of stuff on there. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope I see you all again. Justin, you've been on this circle before, but there's some first timers, Michelle, Stephen, and Tawny. So I hope to see you back in the next coming weeks.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.